Felt like the more everybody connected, the more powerful we would be. So thank y'all for kind of joining a perfect stranger, a year ago on this quest to improve things. Just pass it to Etienne. You can tell us about Veterans Action Council.
I want to thank you both for having me, and I look forward to spending time back in Louisiana, and that will actually be my first speech at the Capitol.
Guess what got you started in advocacy? Because you've been doing it for how many years now?
I would watch my mother do speeches from those steps when I was a child. My father was the first blind lawyer to go through actual law school at Loyola back in the 1960s. And so he was the first blind person. Oh. However, when my parents had their first child, it was my brother Andre, and my brother was born without eyeballs.
Oh.
And so I spent a lot of early time in Louisiana working on advocacy for the blind. My mother had to sue the state of Louisiana to gain access so that my brother and others at the School for the Deaf and the School for the Blind could actually get their transportation paid for. So I learned how to fight for rights early on, but my advocacy was not in cannabis. So I watched my mother struggle, fight, as well as I watched our family get calls and harassed and death threats and threats to burn our house down just because my mother was fighting to have the ability for my brother to have his transportation to the School for the Blind in Baton Rouge. After she finally won that case, which when I was about a senior in high school,
wow, that's how
my brother finally was able to go to the end of the road where we lived in, and I could drop him off at the bus, and then I could then pick him up at that same spot and then walk him home. So I learned early on that whatever you had to do in Louisiana, you had to not only fight for, you had to fight for with tooth and nail.
So if you want to be